Africa is endowed with a wealth of mineral resources, including gold, silver, copper, uranium, and cobalt. These minerals are essential to manufacturing processes around the world. The continent accounts for 30% of the world's mineral reserves, and demand is expected to increase sixfold by 2050. In sub-Saharan Africa, the mining sector is a major economic driver with a value of more than $108 billion in 2023. On average, the sector accounted for 10% of GDP in the 15 most mineral-rich countries in the region in 2021. However, in countries like South Africa, the mining sector faces a number of major challenges, including depletion of oil grades, loss of resources, environmental degradation, and social problems.
Just to give you round numbers, I mean, we did around 6 billion rand of exploration activity, sure, going back to 2007, 2006. We're now sitting around 1 billion per year. It's a very, very low number, and it's again, for a sustainable mining production in South Africa going forward, we need to unlock that exploration activity. We have all of these resources underground, but we're not making full use of that.
Home to abundant mineral reserves, Africa accounts for 40% of the world's gold, 90% of its chromium and platinum, 70% of the world's cobalt, 60% of manganese, 25% of bauxite, and about 15% of copper. These resources are essential to the development of greener technologies and infrastructures on a global scale. According to African mining ministers, there is a need to strengthen continental cooperation in areas such as mineral extraction, value creation, infrastructure development, and trade.
The role of government is to facilitate from a legislative, from a policy framework, and from all these other aspects, such that the investor can then do what they do best in terms of mining and making sure that they can take the finished product to market.
Africa's mining sector is at a crossroads, with its vast mineral reserves poised to fuel the development of the continent and the planet. However, unlocking this potential requires strong regional cooperation, harmonized regulations, and collaborative efforts from governments, private sector players, and communities.
Il faut que l'État ne soit plus consigné à ce rôle de collecteur de taxes et d'impôts.
The state needs to do more than just collect taxes. It needs to play the role of an economic operator through national-private-public partnerships, with the country's oldest players to really move in this direction. In this case, we will be at the service level. Let me remind you that 80% of mining operations are held by the services, whether it's laboratory analysis, mining drilling, or fuel supply, for example. So there is a whole range of services that could greatly benefit the national private sector.
Donc c'est tout un tas de services qui sont là et qui pourraient beaucoup profiter au secteur privé national.
As the world shifts towards clean energy solutions, demand for these resources is expected to grow rapidly. For example, BHP Billiton predicts that the global demand for copper will increase by 70% by 2050 compared to 2020. Given Africa's significant share of global copper and other critical energy mineral reserves, the continent is well placed to develop sustainable initiatives and projects.